Okay, you guys got to check this out. This is going to probably help many people, if not a lot of, I don't know how many people get these when you buy them. This is brand new. I just got it last night. I set it up, put the stops on it. I went to turn it on, and I was pushed down, and, well, I fixed it now, but I'll show you guys what I had to do. I pushed down, and it was kind of starting, and it was very erratic. It was not staying running. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with this thing? So I open it up. You know, this is nice. It's got the little lid. It's all enclosed. It's a dual motor. This is probably the best one of the new ones that they make now that you can buy. The old Offner ones are probably the best of the best. The motors are really strong. It's a little bit different design. This design is a little goofy. When you have to change the wheel, it's a pain in the ass. If you get one of these, you'll know. And if you have one, you already know. I had an old one that I had, a used one, and the bolts on either side of this thing, this side, it was like stripped but not stripped. I could not get, it would not unthread and come out. I had to use a pair of my vice grip type pliers and like pull the whole, I had to bend this whole thing out to get the wheel out because I had to change the wheel because I destroyed the first one. This is a brand new wheel. You can see, look at all this meat on there. This is, I mean, there's a lot of meat on these. But they don't, when they start wearing down, it doesn't protrude enough to hit the flywheel sometimes. So there is a way, I guess there's a trick. You shim this thing up, this whole housing. You put some shims down there where it meets the frame or the box, and it shims it up. So it'll bring the whole thing up, and that's a way to bring the wheel up so you get more life out of it. Never had to try that yet, but I know that's a way to solve that problem. So this is the culprit right here. Okay, those little contacts right there. When you push down, the copper touches itself. Copper or brass. I think it's copper. I'm pretty sure. So, okay, so that's what makes it move. These two guys, those little things right there, they're attached down there, and they have the positive wires. They are, what do you want to call them? Sandwiched. I think it's called sandwiched in between the little plastic frame down there and then the copper piece that comes up, and see how it's like a Z, like a zigzag. These things were not, they were too far open. They were open too much to where it wasn't making consistent contact with it. So it was like right now, it's a spark. It was crazy. I'm like, don't tell me. I'm like, how am I gonna fix this? How am I gonna fix this? You know, this thing was $80. I'm like, don't tell me I gotta return this thing. That was my first reaction. I'm like, wait a minute. There's got to be a way to make this work. God, so my voice is still gone, but it's coming back. So I had to take this part off. There's screws right down there. There's 2 screws there, and then there's 2 screws on the bottom here, right. I actually don't have them in there. I do. I put them back in. There's one there and one there. So those 2 and those 2 right here. Let me back up. Those 2 right there, and those 2. You got to take those out, and then this plastic frame here comes off, and then you can get to these 2 guys. There's just a screw holding each one of them in. They're independent from each other. They're not together. So what happens is it's the positive comes through and creates a circuit when, you know, it's an open circuit until it makes contact with these sides, and then it creates a full circuit, which obviously makes the motors turn, and then you have a wheel spinning and you have a car going. So I had to take it all apart, and I took these, actually took them out, just 2 screws, and pulled them out and just put them on the table here and just kind of bent them in so they were more naturally closed, and put them back in, and now she works perfectly, no problem. So if anybody has one of these, I bet there's probably a lot of people that have this issue, because, you know, I'm not the only one. There's no way. And I've never seen anybody explain this before, so I'm glad I thought of it so I could explain it at least, and you guys get something out of this stupid video, you know, other than me talking like a dum-dum. So that is a good solution to a problem that you might have or had or might have. You know, if you get one of these, they're pretty popular, and these are the best ones. I mean, for the money, it's 80 bucks. Shit, can't go wrong. I bought this one. This is actually a decent one too. What I like about this one, you know, this, you know, like you have these where you get to move the whole housing like this for an on-road car. Because I do have a Serpent over there. I have one car that requires the wheel to turn. This one is cool because, and I noticed this when I bought it. You loosen these 4 screws. I only have 2 of them in, actually. That's all you need. You loosen 4 screws, and the whole plate comes up and turns, rather than just the, you know, the housing part turning. I just thought of it as being much more convenient and a lot easier, and I'm glad I did buy it because it is as it's described to be, and it works pretty well. The only thing I don't like about I don't like this model where the plate comes down and the car goes down onto the wheel. They're okay, but they don't seem to work as good as these do. I found that these I like the wheel sticking out because, you know, there's a lot of contact when you get when the flywheel does get down there, when you push it down. It really does turn the flywheel pretty well. But I found with like a truggy, I had to take these stops out. Like I have one here, but I had to put them in the back one, okay? And honestly, the one truggy I have, the GS, this one was not even, didn't do anything. Because the truck had to be like so far this way, it was goofy. Now, with this type of setup, it's a truggy, not an on-road car, but they're a little bit too small. That was my point, really. They're not long enough for like a truggy chassis. I mean, I just barely am able to fit a truggy on there. So, yeah, just food for thought. If you get one of these like this, it's cool for on-road. If you have an on-road car, definitely look into this. These are about $100. I bought it on eBay. There's a couple different people that distribute them. So yeah, it's $100. I think $99. So anyway, back to this guy. So yeah, this issue, that was an issue. if I didn't fix it, it wouldn't work. You know, you can't have a wheel going. You know, you pull your hair out. Probably want to jump into a hot tub of lava, maybe, even if you'd be so annoyed. So yeah, that's how you fix that if you have that issue. That's WD-40 all over here. Just cleaning the chassis after when I actually did what everyone recommends. No motor, put the chassis on without a motor in it and get it lined up perfectly and do it that way, because these wheels, they wear out really quick. When you start burning them up and you know, you get stuck at top dead center and it locks up on you. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. And then you got to take the screwdriver and loosen it up, heat it back up, and do it again, and do it again, and do it again. And if the battery's not strong, then it's not turning it. When I first started using one of these, I hated these things. I couldn't stand it. Now I'm the other way around. I don't want to pull start bump box all day long. You know, the motors without pull starts are generally a better type motor, and they run better. There's less drag on the. I'm not a big, huge internal nitro guy yet. I'm learning, but I think guys would agree that something about the pull start, it puts more what's the word I'm looking for? More load onto the piston and the rod than if you don't have a pull start. I'm pretty sure that's what I've heard. So anyway, I digress. All right, so I've got this thing set up. I already set up the stops for the Reds motor that I'm going to start. It's on this is the Team Associated RC8 3.2, I believe. This one you can get the kit now for like $349. I think on AMAN sells them. They got the new ones out already. Those are like $7.99. And from what I looked at picture-wise, not much different. I mean, I think that these are a little different. And I think all the A-arms I think are a little bit different, and they might have, these are actually upgraded shocks. I think it has these shocks stock in the new ones. These were I bought this as a rolling chassis. I didn't build it myself, but the guy that built it had put these on. These are the, I can't remember the name of the model of the shocks, but it's an upgrade from the stock ones that comes with the kit. So, I'm ready to go here. The motor's still warm. Oh, yeah, it's still warm. Oh, yeah. Heat gun does a good job. And it's cold outside. It's cold in my garage. I don't have my heater on. So, anyway, I'm going to fire this bad boy up. I'll be back in a minute with you guys, and we'll see what we can do. Let's see if we get lucky and it fires up in the first try. Cross your fingers and toes.